Hey everybody, and welcome back to FSi DFS. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. We're going to be looking at the 13-game slate here, but before we do get started, I do want to hype up a little bit our PGA content. We have a guy, his name is John Cool. And he runs the PGA content on our Discord. He also has YouTube videos out. He does his full video previews. He also even has just YouTube shorts if you want to be paying attention to those. If you come join us in the Discord, he even has a sheet each week that talks about the course, talks about key traits of the course, whether it's a short course, long course, really, benefits putters or benefits guys who can get fairway accuracy and all that kind of stuff, guys who have performed best at this course over the past handful of years, guys who are doing best in the past 5 tournaments in general. So it's pretty amazing what he's got. He covers DraftKings and he covers Yahoo as well. So if you want to come check that out, that would be awesome. But let's go back to MLB here. 13-game slate. Not too much we have to be paying attention to in terms of weather. It does look like there's going to be some smoke in the northeast once again. So, just pay attention to the air quality and all of that stuff. So, 13-game slate, lots of pitching options, especially in the top tier. Honestly, with so many pitching options, there's not as much in the low tier as you would think, which makes things kind of difficult when you have teams like the Dodgers and Coors. You have Baltimore facing off against Weaver, who just allows massive contact, and you have a team like Texas going up against a Wentz, who really struggles as well. So let's just look into the pitchers. Favorite pitcher, it's going to be Blake Snell up at this top tier, 10.3K. He's probably one of the hottest pitchers in the entire league right now. Just absolutely dominant in his past 3 starts. Even going beyond that is beyond 1 earned run in his past 5 starts, 2 earned runs in his past 6 starts. It's been incredible what he's been able to do. The strike rates are way up, and now he's got a Pittsburgh side that is definitely slumping in offense. So Snell's going to be the number one, or he's going to be your SP1 here, especially in cash games. He's going to be the guy I'm going to be jamming in the most. After him, I actually enjoy Senga at 10.1K. I know Eflin, Webb, Nola are up there, but I actually do like Senga going up against Milwaukee. Milwaukee just has a lot of strikeouts in their lineup. Now, Senga is not the guy. He's not the master of consistency, and he's got some walk issues as well to him. But I do think that a nice matchup against Milwaukee can benefit him, just with how much Milwaukee can strike out. 10.1K, do I want to pay that much for him? I'm a little reluctant, but I think I don't want to be paying 10.9K for Eflin going up against Arizona. That's just a brutal matchup. I don't want to pay 10.6 for Webb. Webb doesn't have a great strikeout rate, doesn't really have much of a ceiling, and Toronto doesn't strike out in general much as a team. So, those are 2 really tough matchups for pitchers who, are fairly equal to Senga and much more expensive. And then you have Nola going up against the Cubs. Not that I don't mind Nola, I really don't mind Nola, but it's more about his consistency. He's on that line of the boom bust kind of pitchers. Snell is kind of in that realm as well, boom bust, but man, he is feeling it. He is doing phenomenal. So I really do like Snell as your SP1, and then Senga is probably going to be my second favorite option right there, followed by Nola, Webb, and then Eflin. Keller and Javier, I really don't have too much interest in these guys overall. Keller going up against San Diego, not really interested in that at all. And then Javier, 9.7K, he just doesn't strike anybody out. Look at this strikeout rate that he's had over the past month or so. It's in the low teens, and St. Louis, they've been struggling. The record is not good, but they've been more burned by pitching overall on the season. So I just don't have too much interest in Javier when you can just pay a couple hundred more and get guys like Snell and get guys like Senga. So this is the sheet. This is kind of where everything is, and everything shakes out in terms of the high tier. Just kind of went over it. Going into the mid tier, I do have Garrett followed by Giolito and then Allen. And I feel like there's a big gap. And then Herman and then Gibson. But these 3 are the 3 that I'm going to be paying attention to the most in the mid tier. So Garrett going up against Boston. Not a big fan of playing pitchers in Fenway, to be completely honest. But when you got a guy who has been as hot as Garrett has been, he's been posting up the numbers with Snell, but he's coming in at $500 cheaper. So Garrett, he's been doing phenomenal. I wish that his pitch count would be a little bit more. but you can see what he's still able to accomplish even with 80 or 90 pitches. So like that is like my one hesitation, my one, not just one. Like obviously I don't like paying pitchers too much in Coors Field, but when you got a pitcher who's limited to essentially like 90 pitches, there's only so much that he can do. But I do think that because of the lowered price tag, I think that he's probably gonna be my favorite option in this mid tier. Giolito, right above him, he's very similar. To Garrett. I do like Garrett a little bit more, and Garrett's just a little bit cheaper. But if you want to put Giolito above Garrett, I would understand that. Like Giolito's going to go 100 plus pitches in each start. So like you're looking at already 20 more pitches in Giolito, so a full extra inning that he's capable of getting. Just kind of a tougher matchup going up against the Angels, though, and just a little bit more expensive, which is why I do have Garrett a little bit over Giolito. And then Logan Allen. If you want to go Logan Allen, totally fine. If you want to fade him, totally get it there. It's more so like he's cheap. He's in a great matchup going up against Kansas City. But he's got a serious walk rate that you do have to be concerned about. But yeah, I would definitely be going with Garrett and Giolito first. And then probably Allen. But then after that, Herman, he's going up against Oakland. So, like, obviously he's going to be in play. But he's had his struggles, and he's not the Herman of old. And then Gibson's just got a really tough matchup going up against Cincinnati. So he's kind of down there. But, like, he's not a terrible pitcher by any means. That's just that he's in a brutal matchup. Smiley, no interest. Mikolas, no interest. In the low tier, it's probably going to be J.P. Sears going up against his former team, New York Yankees, at home. Yankees don't really scare you too much anymore. In Sears, he's been pretty consistent, pretty solid. He's got great command. Like he's generating a few walks. He's generating strikeouts, a handful of strikeouts plus in every single start, even against teams that, don't strike out very much, like Cleveland. He's still got 8 strikeouts. So Sears, I think he's probably going to be my favorite spot down here. I do have him a little bit ahead of Dunning. Dunning goes deep into games. Like he's going to rack up the innings. He's kind of like an Alcantara light in that sense, but he just doesn't strike anybody out. So that's the main issue with him, and that's why I do have Sears over Dunning. So let's go back to the sheet here. This is kind of where everything shakes out. And yeah, so that's kind of it. Into the bats, Dodgers and Coors are obviously going to be your main stack that you do want to be playing, but it's just going to be very difficult to jam them in, especially if you do go with like 2 more expensive pitchers. So if we do Snell and Garrett and then try to throw in like a Dodger stack, let's go here. Let's just throw in some of their nice righties. So we'll throw in Betts. We'll throw in Will Smith. We'll throw in JD Martin. We'll just do this. Just show you 3, stud righties on the Dodgers. You're already down to under 3K remaining for the rest of your bat. So getting a Dodgers stack is going to be pretty difficult. It's possible, but it's probably going to incorporate, going down to guys like JP Sears, and going down to guys like Dunning. But even with that, you're only down to 3.1K. So it's like, where are we going to find all that cheap salary? It's probably going to be in Oakland. It's been going to Oakland for a super long time here now. Like, yeah, they're a historically bad team, but they're still generating some offense. There's no reason that only 2 guys should be above 2.8K on this team. Like, I have interest in Seth Brown at 2.7K and Nada at 2.7K as well. Like, there's 2 super cheap, super affordable guys. And Ruiz, even at 3.8K, I know that's more expensive, and like we're turning to Oakland for like cheap guys, like looking to like sub 3.2K guys. But I mean, if he gets on base, he's always a stolen base threat, and he can get there pretty easily. Texas, kind of the same deal. Baltimore, almost the same deal, just a little bit more affordable in terms of the Dodgers. So I actually do think that they could be intriguing like GPP plays as well. But Texas going up against Wentz. Wentz allows us a whole lot of hard contact. And like Texas is arguably the best offense in all of baseball. Baltimore going up against Luke Weaver. Weaver, same thing. He allows a lot of hard contact. Would not shock me if Baltimore has a 3-4 home runs here tonight. And you can just see they're just a lot more affordable. So both teams combined, only 4 guys above 4.7K. So just a lot more affordable in general than the Dodgers are. So if you do want to go in that regard, go in that direction, I would totally understand it. But it's going to be tough to fade the Dodgers. Pay attention to the industry. See where, ownership shakes out. If the Dodgers are going to be super chalk, super heavily owned, just pivot down to Texas, pivot down to Baltimore. In terms of GPP, Cincinnati and San Diego are going to be my 2 favorite. Cincinnati for sure, going up against Kyle Gibson. Like I said, Gibson, he's fine, but I don't have a whole lot of interest in it. But Cincinnati is definitely going to be my favorite team overall as a GPP stack, just with how fun they are as a team, and they've made quite a good amount of money for us going to GPP here lately. So that's kind of where everything shakes out. I'm not going to go too much deeper into the slate. I want to get a little bit more data and research in before I do that. So this is where the sheet goes. Good luck in your contest as always. Thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.